and welcome back for another tasty treat. On this episode of Leah Tortilla, I will be doing a baked spaghetti dish. I know, sounds strange, doesn't it? So we're going to start this recipe by making the sauce, and then we're going to boil our pasta and combine our pasta with the sauce. We're going to chuck it in a baking tray, chuck a load of cheese on it, and stick it in the oven. It's really that simple. Come on, let's get started. Right, okay. So over here I've got a frying pan that's getting nice and hot. I'm going to throw some olive oil in there. And over here I've got a pan of water. It's cold and it will be salted. I just need to add a splash of olive oil to that and a splash of salt to that. So we're going to bring our pasta water to the boil while we make our sauce. So for your sauce, once your frying pan and your olive oil is nice and hot, here I have 2 finely sliced red chillies and 3 cloves of chopped garlic. We're going to throw that in now. And then once you've thrown in your garlic and your fresh chillies, we're going to throw in 2 thinly sliced red onions. You can use white, but I'm using red because they give a more sweeter flavour. After your onion, you're going to slice 2 courgettes nice and thin, and we're going to throw them in our pan as well. So once you've added your 2 thinly sliced courgettes and you've given it a bit of a stir around, we're going to add a sprinkling of salt and pepper. Now you've added your salt and pepper, your onions, your chillies, your garlic and your courgettes should be softening up nicely. They've been on for about 3 minutes now. This next ingredient is optional, so you can keep this dish vegan, vegetarian friendly if you wish. But I'm going to add 7 Rashers, however you pronounce it, 7 slices of streaky bacon that I've just chopped into little pieces. And you can use smoked or unsmoked, but I'm using unsmoked. Now your bacon is in there and it's cooking nicely, or if you didn't add the bacon, everything is cooking nicely in your saucepan. We're going to add 180 grams of spinach. You can use frozen spinach if you want, but I find there's just too much liquid in that and you don't want any excess liquid in this dish. So I've got 180 grams of raw spinach leaves here that I'm just going to wilt gently. Turn the heat down just a smidgen. And yeah, going to put my spinach leaves in there, handful at a time, wilt them down, handful at a time, wilt them down until it's all incorporated. And once you've gently wilted down your spinach, you can see that our water is now boiling. So we're going to add our spaghetti to that. So this dish serves around 4 people. So I've got 250 grams of dried raw spaghetti here. And that's just going to go in my pan. I'm going to boil it for about 10 minutes until it's al dente. We don't want it overcooked because obviously it's going in the oven and you don't want it to turn to mush in the oven. Our pasta is starting to boil nicely and we've got this beautiful, healthy looking, colourful mixture here. And to this we're going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. There we go. Once your tomato puree is fully mixed through, it should look a little something like this. So once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and add 2 tins of 400 grams each of chopped tomatoes. And then once you've mixed all of your vegetables into the tinned tomatoes, we're going to add another pinch of salt and pepper. Stir that in. And then we're going to turn our heat up slightly and allow this to simmer and reduce for 4 to 5 minutes. As you leave your sauce simmering for around 4 to 5 minutes, you'll see that it becomes a lot richer and thicker. And don't forget, a full list of the ingredients will be listed in the description below, along with where to follow me on social media. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes now since we started boiling our spaghetti. It is now perfectly al dente and I've strained it of all water. I am now going to add my spaghetti to our sauce because our sauce is now reduced far enough and I'm happy with it and it tastes great. So, typical Leah, I've started with a saucepan, frying pan, whatever it is, that is too small to finish the dish. So I'm just going to gently tip my sauce into the pan that I cooked the spaghetti in, and hopefully it'll be easier for me to toss the spaghetti through the sauce without making so much mess. So as you can see here, I've transferred my pans and I've got the sauce on a low to medium heat. Got my spaghetti here. I'm just going to add that to our sauce and mix it through. You could do this with a wooden spoon, but I think it's going to create a lot less mess if I do it with a pair of trusty kitchen tongs. So now our pasta is thoroughly mixed through the sauce. I've got my trusty baking dish here that usually we use it for macaroni cheese, so I know that it's oven safe. And then I'm just going to pour our spaghetti into the dish. So now you have this bowl of deliciousness, we're going to cake it in cheese. And now I know cheese isn't vegan, so if you do want to make this a vegan option, then you're going to have to find some of that expensive vegan alternative cheese. Before we go ahead and sprinkle a load of cheese on top, I've got a small handful of parsley straight from my garden that I've chopped nice and finely. I'm going to take this and sprinkle it over the top of our pasta. Parsley sprinkled on top. It's time for 150 grams of grated cheddar cheese. You didn't think that was it for cheese, did you? Here I have one ball of plain mozzarella cheese that I'm also just going to place on top of our pasta here. And then finally, for that extra little crunch, I'm going to add a sprinkling of grated Parmesan cheese. And then finally, before we stick this bad boy in the oven, just a sprinkling of cracked black pepper. And then we're going to place this in the oven at 180 degrees for around 20 to 25 minutes until all the cheese is bubbly and melting and crispy and golden. And I put it on a tray so that any spillage from where it boils and bubbles and bakes doesn't get on the bottom of the oven and burn. Prevention is better than cure. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Leah Tortilla, and thank you very much for watching. And don't forget to give this video a like and give this video a share. leave me a comment because I love to hear what you have to say. And if you really like what I do, then you can always press that subscribe button and see me next week for more tasty treats. Bye guys! Also, just a little heads up, there won't be a video next week because I'm on a staycation. So I'll see you guys the week after next. Bye!